Hello, I'm Sarah Webb with colorismhealing.org, and I'm here today with a very special guest for an interview, and her name is Janice Ledette, but she also happens to be my mother. So hello, how are you?
Hello, Sarah, how are you?
Good. So I interviewed my sister recently, not too long ago, and I also wanted to bring in my mother's perspective. I've interviewed her on the website before, but I wanted to kind of update and revisit this conversation with the mother-daughter perspective on colorism. And so you and your family are also from Southwest Louisiana.
Yes,
Lafayette area.
Yes,
Pacific.
Lafayette, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. And just like you and I are different skin tones, a lot of your family members come in a range of a variety of skin tones, aunts, uncles. So growing up in Southwest Louisiana, and living in a multicolored family, how do you think your ideas and attitudes about skin color or colorism developed throughout your life?
Well, growing up, the time that I grew up and I recognized early on that it was something that was a concern, for me, okay? But it was so prevalent during that time. It was just so normal to say, oh, that black child, and not mean black as far as African American, but dark skin.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so prevalent. And again, where I'm from, I wouldn't be considered light skinned by most people.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had people that looked whiter than white people actually looked, that were considered black people. So it was a little different than what perhaps the world thinks of light skinned people today. But nonetheless, it was very, very prevalent, almost nonchalant. You just accepted it, although you knew that it was wrong. And I guess I was fortunate because my mother, who had dark skinned and light skinned kids, never used terms to describe us in different tones. She just always loved us the way we were. So I didn't grow up in a family that divided themselves based on light skin, dark skin. We just never did. And actually in our neighborhood, we had light skin and dark skinned people too. And it seems like the neighborhood I grew up in too, we just embraced each other. But definitely we knew that it was there. And we knew that it wasn't popular or cool or more acceptable to be the darker skinned one.
And so you're obviously a mother too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But all of your children have been adults for quite some time now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yay for us.
Yay for me.
Yes, yay for you. But because of that, you have the perspective of being able to look at the entirety of your children's childhood, from their birth up until their adulthood. And then since it was a while ago, you've had ample time to kind of reflect on their childhoods maybe. I wonder if there's anything about colorism and raising children specifically that you learned along the way, or maybe that you didn't recognize at the time, but like as you reflect back, you can recognize. Any thing you learned along the way, or that you could share with other parents, maybe who are currently raising children, that you didn't know or that you did know that you would like to share?
Well, I'd like to emphasize the fact that children know, okay, at a younger age than we give them credit for. They know, they perceive, they feel. So, I think it's important that we talk to our children at a young age, and if we see colorism, that we call it out. We don't ignore it. We do what we can to make it a better situation for your child, but maybe the next child too. So don't ignore the pain that your children are feeling, because I sense that parents see colorism, and it's such a difficult topic to talk about. Maybe if you talk to a friend about it, they'll say, oh, well, nah, and they'll go back and say that you're jealous, if you have a dark-skinned daughter and you're saying, well, it seems to me the teacher's a little, biased toward my daughter, Don't ignore it, because it's probably true,
And there's research to back that up.
That's right, and there are things that you can do to make sure that you're there for your child, And in my situation, I unconsciously and consciously, I guess, and unconsciously, because I was raised where I had different backgrounds, different tones in my family, so, and we never felt within the family unit any tension. And so for me, unconsciously, I didn't put a lot of effort into sitting down with the kids, but I certainly made sure that my darker skinned child, knew that she was beautiful, I didn't overemphasize it for the sake of overemphasizing it because she was dark, because I really thought she was beautiful, But I wouldn't say that it didn't cross my mind that she probably needed some extra encouragement, And so don't be afraid to do that if that's needed too.
So there's a story that you told me, and I've told it a few times, but I think it'd be good for people to hear you tell that story since you are the one. It's your memory.
Yes,
I don't actually have the memory.
It's a very, very vivid memory. I was in someone that in our family was in the hospital, and we were there visiting with that individual, and my aunt from Louisiana was visiting also, and Sarah was 5 and Jandelle was about 7. Jandelle was my other daughter, and so Sarah was playing on the floor in the hospital room, and my aunt said, "Oh, Janice, you have two girls. That one there, she's gonna break some hearts. You're gonna have to watch out for her," meaning my lighter skinned daughter, and my little 5-year-old beautiful daughter said, "That's because she light skinned," and she didn't look up. She didn't, challenge the person. She just automatically playing like a child would at 5, and she said, "That's because she's light skinned." But I heard her, and that had a profound effect on me. That a child at 5 had already, through examples maybe on TV, probably things I didn't even know she had been told at school, already recognized that if you're lighter, then people are going to talk more favorably about you, no matter how talented you are, So that's the story, and it's a true story. It's a true story.
Yeah, it's more effective when you tell it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to let you tell it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna refer to you if you want to know about that story.
Well, one of the things I like to say is that I took a lot of pride in my children altogether, But I guess you can take it as something that was maybe funny or kind of strange. But I got a lot of questions about my darker skinned kids when my lighter skinned daughter was not present. Like, are they yours? Or who's those little chocolate, actual words, who's those little chocolate kids? They're mine, And I was so proud to say that. It's like, I somehow believe that God did it that way. Because both, same father, same mother, and I had a dark skinned son, a lighter skinned daughter, and then a darker skinned daughter. And I tell you, I think that God made it that way so that I could see more clearly, the effects of it on people and children and advocate for it, And I'm so blessed to have my daughters, both of them, but Sarah with the blog and her speaking engagements and everything, advocating for the relief of colorism, the recognition of it, and then the healing of it, which, takes time. So, but I just couldn't wait to say, yes, she's mine, because I knew what people were thinking, and so I made sure they knew that she's mine, and yes, I'm proud of her.
I'm just curious, do you have any colorism, like, pet peeves? Like, things, so colorism happens in many ways, it's manifested in many ways, but anything in particular that really just gets under your skin, pun intended, when it comes to colorism?
Well, I guess my pet peeve is a giant one because it covers other areas of life.
Yeah.
I hate denial that it exists. And that's the biggest thing for me is that it's no such thing. I never experienced it. You're jealous, whatever, Yeah. It's the lack of acknowledgement that it does exist and that it's in our community. We don't have to go outside of the community. It's right there, down your street, in your schools, in your church. Okay?
Yeah.
And yet you say you've never seen it. If you've lived, you've seen it. I'm serious, And that's my pet peeve is denial that it exists, and in denying it exists, you deny the suffering of countless people that have suffered throughout the years. So that's my pet peeve is denial that the existence of colorism is there. And it's been around for a long time, and it's going to be around.
Yeah, I think denial is one of my big ones too. And obviously, as someone who blogs about colorism and works as an activist against colorism, that is the first hurdle is making people aware that this is a phenomenon. A lot of people, it's willful ignorance a lot of times. They just don't want, and so I try not to spend my efforts with people who really know inside but just want to say that it doesn't exist because they want to dismiss the conversation. I'm more focused on the people who might not have thought about it,
That's
but who are open to it.
Right. Yeah, and I meet a lot of those people too.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised sometimes that the people, when I talk about colorism and about your blog and situations, I'm surprised at some of the people that are open to it and that start to tell you their stories.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me, And fortunately for me, I with my children, I have advocates, and all, not just Sarah, but my daughter Jandelle, she's an advocate for healing, and strengthening young people and older people who have experienced that, because it doesn't die when you grow older. It continues.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I have an opportunity to also heal along with my daughters, because it's not just Sarah, it's Jandelle and my son Anthony,
Yeah.
So
it definitely affects our sons too. And I'm curious, so I like the fact that you talked about healing in relationship to denial, because we know that without acknowledgement and acceptance, there is no healing.
Right.
So I almost pity people who are in constant denial of it, because then they are not allowing themselves opportunities to heal from things that they might be repressing.
Right.
So acknowledgement and acceptance of
and to advocate for the issue of colorism, for it to be done with, it's not to say there's nothing else that you would advocate for.
Right.
You can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can fight for this cause and still be against police brutality and racism, etc. It doesn't negate those, but if we don't address colorism, then, we're doing a disservice to our people, our community, because it starts with us.
Yes, it starts with us. I like that saying. So we're going to wrap up the interview, and I want to see if there are any last thoughts or comments you would like the audience to know about colorism from your perspective.
Well, I'm going to re-emphasize the fact that it's not going away. And unfortunately, it's probably going to be around forever. As long as there's people on the earth, there's going to be some form of colorism.
And people say the same thing about racism.
Right, exactly, correct. But again, don't ignore it, but do more than just not ignore it. Advocate for it to stop if you see it. Do what you can do to make it better for someone that you see is being denied a job, being denied a part in a play, and they're the best candidate, etc. Someone may be prejudiced against them because their skin is darker. Then, I feel you have to do more than just talk about it. You have to say, well, have you ever considered the other candidate? So just be bold and know that you can make a difference. It's just like my daughter, Jandelle, she has made it her life's purpose to be involved, as a lighter skinned sister, with the fight. And I venture to say again that many of you have seen it, and have ignored it. Don't anymore. That's what we're asking. We're asking you not to ignore, because somebody's little girl somewhere, needs you to say, well, I'm beautiful too, And it's okay to purpose. It's okay to purpose to make the difference. It's okay to say, when someone comes up to two children, one lighter and one dark, and says, Susie, the lighter skin, you have such beautiful hair. Look at you. It's okay for you to say, like I've said, you are just absolutely beautiful. And Jane, look at you, girl. You are just absolutely fabulous. It's okay, to do that and to make that difference.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope I've helped.
Yes, I think so. And I also want to encourage all of you to continue to study colorism, continue to learn about it, and talk to other people about it. Share this video, visit the website, take a look at the writing contest and the database if you want to do more research on it. There's a lot more material out there on colorism that I try to provide, but that many other people that I'm meeting more people every day who are doing work on colorism. Across the world, actually. So hopefully this is not the last time that you engage with this issue, and I hopefully will see you again soon. All right. Bye-bye.
She hummed. My mom hummed down the street, and when she walked through the house, it was a hum. And I just loved that hum. And like I said before, she'd be the first one down the street in the morning. We were still in bed. She had already gone to the store and back. And then when she got to the corner, you could hear, "Hey, Miss So-and-so. Hey, Miss Jean, I'm going to send Janice over there later on to help you with that, with your groceries." Okay. But she got to go. She and Gail got to go pick them figs over there for Cousin Rose first, But Lord, that sound was just beautiful, And then when she stepped on the porch, just through the house, I loved it.